Morning, I'm going to be joining two ladies, technically, in terms of speaking on that mental health opportunity provided by Kingdom Mental Health Summit happening April 26th and 27th. So, to give me more information this morning, Pastor Simone Smith joins us via Zoom. She is a board member of the Kingdom Mental Health Association, along with Dr. Yves Abraham, founder of Kingdom Mental Health Association. So, ladies, good morning and welcome to the Now Morning Show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
An absolute pleasure to have you because, as you heard, it is a hot topic and we do need to understand the tools that are afforded to us. But in particular, this one is crossing the path of faith and mental health wellness. So if we can begin with you, Dr. Abraham, could you give us a little bit of insight as to the history or the origins of this summit? Why was it deemed necessary and who decided to do so?
Yes, sure. Thank you. Good morning again, and thank you for having us this morning. So Kingdom Mental Health Summit is a vision that was birthed back in 2018. So we actually been doing these mental health summits since 2018. We saw that there was a huge gap between faith and clinical. We saw that people of faith were considering going to a therapist or seeing a psychiatrist as demonized, right? There wasn't much understanding about that. When we study the Bible, we realize that God wants us to live a practical, successful life. So my passion was to bridge that gap so that not only people of faith, but non-faith people, for lack of a better word, could understand that mental health, accessing mental health, it's not something to be shameful about, and that in order for us to live the most functional life, that we need to do whatever's necessary for us to do that. And the key component is our mind. So that's what brought that out.
I completely agree with you. The key component is our mind. But let's talk a little bit about our hearts and our faith. So, Pastor Smart, you were mentioning to me before that it is a cross-section or intersection, if you will. And granted that we have mentioned it is open to persons who are not of the faith, or any faith rather. Tell me a little bit as to how faith plays a role in this summit so that it's inclusive to everyone.
Well, we want the faith-based community to know how to handle mental health issues. And I think that the summit is a great place to become more aware and to learn how to become a mental health first responder, if I can call it that. Pastors and ministry leaders should be equipped to identify when their congregation members need support, additional support besides prayer or just counseling. They may need professional treatment or even medication. And so the church, as vital and as integrated as the church is in society, we want the church community to be equipped to be able to deal with mental health issues.
That is a beautiful point, because a lot of people are going to feel comfortable going to their worship leaders and things of this sort. But that may not be the only remedy or the only tool that they need for their mental health progress. So that's a very valid point, a very responsible thing, to be honest. And in that case, it means that it is a multi-person approach, if you will, since we're going to have some incredible speakers. Can you tell me a little bit about the cast, Pastor Smart?
So I am native to Trinidad and Tobago, so we have both local and international speakers. We have trained clinicians, therapists, counselors, and we also have locally Apostle Vernon Duncan and Dr. Pepe Ramnath, who is also native to Trinidad and Tobago, but he's based in Florida. And so we have a wide variety of speakers. Most of them are clinicians, but we have people who in their own lives, they've experienced mental health trauma, and so they'll be sharing their stories, their testimonies, and how they were able to overcome.
Beautiful. Dr. Abraham, tell me a little bit as to what shape the summit actually takes. Because what you're describing to me in terms of a cast is both Trinidad and US based. I know that the summit has taken place across the region and other islands. So are we going to see this digitally connecting us? Are we going to need to be there in person? Describe to me a little bit as to what the summit actually looks like.
Yeah, so the summit is it's a 2-day summit, April 26 and 27. So during the day, we have day workshops that starts exactly at 9 a.m. And the day workshop it mirrors someone just coming to school and being ready to acquire skill and knowledge surrounding mental health. So we're going to be addressing various topics like depression, like how to deal with anxiety, and how to deal with these historical systemic trauma, as you all were discussing prior to introducing us. So there's so many systemic things that are happening inwardly and also in our society. These things are going to be addressed. So we have topics for the mass. You know, we're going to be addressing marriage and mental health and the psychology of the mind as it relates to social skills, you know. So there's a place for the professionals, there's a place for the lay person, and there's definitely a place for leaders, church leaders, community leaders. So it's a school, right? It's a school. We're going to have a lot of information that we're going to share. The evening session, which starts at 7 p.m., will mirror somewhat of a church service where you know, that's why we integrate the both. So in the morning, we'll just think clinical, and then in the evening is the taste of what the power of God can do when we marry both of them together.
Beautiful.
So that's what's going to happen.
Sounds great. And I love that you talked about the fact that there is a place for everyone. So this is also going to be a beautiful networking opportunity, as well as something that we can do within our own circles, our own communities, from the sound of it, correct?
That's right. That's right.
So tell me then, in terms of the 2-day part of things, does it mean that someone can go to or must attend both days to explore the fullness of the summit, or can we pick one or the other?
I highly recommend attending both.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend attending both days because what you get in one day is not what you're going to get the other day. We are coming fully loaded with years and years of experience and information to give. It's a free event. So I think it'll be to everyone's advantage to take advantage of those 2-day events. Yeah.
Mm. Well, yeah, now that you mentioned that it's free, I'm sure people are going to free up their calendars to make sure they're there. But Pastor Smith, is there anything that you wanted to add in terms of making certain that people attend those 2 days?
So this is an in-person event. It will be held in Chaguanas at the Levi Duncan Convention Center on the Southern Main Road. And we want to encourage everyone to come out because we all have a mind. And if you have a mind, it means that you can be challenged in your mind. It may not be depression. It may not be a serious mental health disorder, but simple things like fear and anxiety and worry. You will learn the skills, you will learn the tools, you'll learn strategies to overcome the challenges that you may face in your mind. So please be there.
Thank you so much for confirming for us why we need to head on down to the Dr. Levi Duncan Convention Center in Edinburgh Village in Chaguanas. Now, as much as the ladies have confirmed for us this event is in fact free, there is still registration that needs to be done. So, Dr. Abraham, could you remind us of how we register?
Yes, they can go to kingdomhealthsummit.com. That is kingdomhealthsummit.com and register for free to attend the event.
Well, let me say thank you very much, not just for joining us this morning, but for creating these sorts of forums and continuing to give people the support that they need through faith and beyond. Of course, Pastor Simone Smart, one of the board members of the Kingdom Mental Health Association, and Dr. Yves Abraham, the founder of the Kingdom Mental Health Association, giving us a beautiful opportunity to equip ourselves with all the tools we need to navigate mental health better. Thank you for joining us, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Have a great morning.